Previously on the Fundi Podcast.
You now learn the real business in the background.
Yeah.
From an indie label perspective.
From Lance,
packaging.
not from an indie label.
Oh, okay.
From Lance.
From Lance, yeah.
And this is a person who started hip hop in South Africa.
Yes.
I'd sit with him and he just loved telling this 16-year-old kid about all the great and wonderful things he's been able to do in his then 20-year-long career. And I was just absorbing that like a sponge.
So you're quite the walking encyclopedia of South African music.
Yeah, I mean, I got taught by Sipho Stole. I got taught by Lance. I got taught and inducted by Squatter Camp and Bada Bing Entertainment. It would be unfortunate that, in the very following year, Flabba passes away.
Yeah.
That was like the biggest shock for me. He's the first guy that I went to in studio when I was selling sips for Sugar Smacks, you know what I mean? And was like a bigger brother to me, always very friendly guy. And then he passed very tragically.
The Fundi Podcast is proudly brought to you by the Mecer Fundi, powered by Windows 10 Professional. The Mecer Fundi, flexibility reimagined.
Now the grind from that work to the point where it really finally hits what I would call the tipping point. There's a lot of years of very hard focused work from not only a musical direction perspective, the crafting of the videos, the brand plan. How were you guys able to sustain financially that drive?
I think we knew that there was a possibility that, this thing could be lucrative. When Ventilation started, it was a youth impact marketing agency. And now they can communicate marketing messages that brands want to jump onto to the public. So we got that. And then there was the entrance of Raphael Benza into the industry. And I was like, oh, damn, he's doing like what Ventilation are doing. Oh, but he's like so much better networked. Okay, damn, he's got so much more experience. Oh, he's got this artist called AKA. What are they doing with him? Oh, damn, they just won awards against Zahara. And it was like, okay, fine. How do we create a competitive advantage? How do we understand our market? You've got a guy like Benza who's really killing the game. He's got all the brands working for him, but he might not be able to understand the South African market as intensely as we can because we are studying it, we are from the culture and everything else. So we focused on traveling the country.
You've gone into every mining town, every village, every nook and cranny.
And therefore, when you want someone who understands the market, there's very few people you can look to. I knew that it will come a point in time where, my unique skill set will then put me in a unique position where if people actually want to engage with this market, they'll need to speak to me or brands that I work with. We're creating music that speaks to South Africans, and their South Africanness. But we were working on it 2013 when we did Dakar.
Oh, yes, when you worked on
the
Dakar.
first single on Dakar was Tulu Jive, which was like a hybrid Kwaito song.
Yes.
Kid X, Kwesta, Zagwe. This was before the Karakaras and everything else. We were starting that thing.
Yes.
And we found producers who were producing that authentic South African sound, and we were trying to churn out more and more of that. It wasn't until we bumped into Cypher and started working with him. Cypher had always been like a Kwaito producer. No one knew this about him, but he was producing hits for these Kwaito acts as well. He bumped into a guy called DJ Slick, gave him a song, and then called Kwesta over to record it, and they sent me the recording, and I listened to the song. I was like, damn, this is exactly what we were trying to do. Cool. We had now a big song, they put Flabba on the song as well. We ended up touring with him. The December of 2014 was really where we went around the road. It would be unfortunate that, in the very following year, Flabba passes away. That was the biggest shock, for me. He's the first guy that I went to in studio when I was selling sips for Sugar Smacks, you know what I mean? And was like a bigger brother to me, always very friendly guy. And then he passed very tragically. And that was the first time Questa's ever called me at before 6 a.m. in the morning. So number one, he's calling me. I'm like, what is the emergency? What is the travesty? And he's like, no, Flabba got stabbed and died. I was like, damn. That was the day we were supposed to wake up and shoot the music video for the Do Like I Do remix as well. The week after that, Do Like I Do went to number 3 on the South African radio charts. Our first time in the top 10, top 5.
And which is bittersweet.
It's that people say these guys work so hard to get lucky, you know what I mean, and they survived all these things. The thing that really put us on is that Flabba had to die, and that was the sad part
Yeah, we remember that literally Squatter Camper Chart, the stripped down episode, just a few weeks earlier before you passed.
Yeah.
And I remember Slicker calling me and saying, man, I think you have the last shot of us as a group. And I just remember saying, okay, cool, what do you need? And we, on our side, were just moving as fast as possible to, finish editing the episode, send out pictures, etc., etc. How do you guys then, after you've buried your friend?
Well, number one, we don't get to bury him. The song's blown up, we're on the road, we're on tour, and we're in Mafikeng on the day of his funeral. And all we can do is like wake up early in the morning and just observe the fact that there's a funeral going on. We're with Ricky Rick at the time, and we were just talking about old stories about how Flabba and Squatter Camp had impacted on our lives. From that moment on, we made a vow to take this thing really seriously. So
this explains the force that you guys became right after that.
Yeah.
And it's still continuing, by the way. Where you have just literally every year you have stamped and taken over summer. You've even claimed spring and winter sometimes. I want to specifically talk about Ngutu because for me that feels like the most iconic shift. Casper Nyovest is on the rise, aka the rise of SA hip hop has just really catapulted.
Yeah, Casper Nyovest was like everywhere. AKA had already been everywhere since 2012. Kuli Chana had risen to prominence.
But this was good because you're a competitive guy.
Yeah, I'm a very competitive. Yeah, I enjoyed watching everyone progress. Yeah. So I was like, okay, fine. Now I can come up with a master plan on how to beat everything. I mean, we done Do Like I Do. We done Tulu Jive, we done a whole lot of these songs that have got this authentic South African sound, and I was obsessed with finding a 45 BPM song. I went into a store, I'm listening to this music that's being played really slow. In Studio 88 at the store.
So it's like slow down house.
Yeah, slow down. They were playing Professor Jezebel by the time I got to the till. I said, no, please tell me why you guys are doing this. They're like, no, this is what we do in Tembisa. I drive to Tembisa, and when I get to Tembisa, I see all the coolest Golf ones with the guys with the seats all laid back, and they're bumping 45 BPM music. I get back to the studio, I'm like, yo, 45 is going to change our life. We traveled for a year trying to find this 45 BPM beat. Never found it. Recorded the album Dakar 2, like completed it. We're done, but we don't have the 45 and we're done with the album.
So in your team meetings, you guys are sitting down and you're just obsessed that we do not have the 45.
I don't really put the stress on everybody else. I need to worry about actually what needs to happen. My Porisa calls us up, hey, you need to finish this song that you recorded with Busiswa here. And then I'm like, Pori, we're done with the album. Like, we're done. But I still haven't found the 45. And he said, I've got something like a 45. And then that's in those words. I've got something like a 45. He played it and he's like, yeah, but I've got it in two versions. I've got also a quickened up version, and that sounded like a real driving EDM version. I was like, I just didn't know. Because like now I'm obsessing about this thing for so much. I want it to be perfect, so I'm not sure. And then Sensor's like, no, which means it's sitting. I start like creating like the melodies, the drum pattern. I start tapping it on the table, and then he starts playing out the keys, and I say, okay, fine, let's put in a speakery bass line. In. He adds that. Senzo then just like freestyle. Yeah, well, Mosha cool. So Shine good.
Yeah. So he just had that part.
He just freestyled that part, like just playing around, and like, oh, damn, this is sick.
Yeah.
He records both his verses, like 1 and 2. And then I'm like, damn it, I need to add a drop to the song.
Yeah.
From the experience of playing the music during the performances, I know exactly like the moments in a song where the crowd will go crazy. Add a 4 beat drop in the track, some delay, slap it, we play the song, done. On the weekend, we drive down to Durban. We've got a show there. I end up having a long conversation with Professor. He tells me the story of how, Questa's going to blow up, be the biggest thing, he's Nguni or Zulu. No, he's Nguni and Zulu. Because of that, Mpumalanga, they're Nguni people. KZN, they're Nguni people. Eastern Cape, they're Nguni people. Western Cape, they're Nguni people. The Xhosa speaking, the Ndebele speaking, the Swati speaking, the Zulu speaking, all of them are Nguni. You're completely right, but you're completely wrong. This song needs someone who's going to take it to the northwest. Where the Tswana people are.
So I've got this side of the country. I need this other part.
I didn't say this to him, but in my head, all I'm thinking is listening. We need Casper for this song. So we go to Casper's house because Casper had called Questa in to record another song. So we go in there, he goes upstairs, he records the song. We were doing this just to get what Casper wanted to get out of the way. Cool. And then we were gonna play him. We didn't even gonna make our request.
You were gonna press play.
No, we said we've also got songs on the album. You can listen to the album. And if you feel like there's a song you'd want to jump on, you can hop onto it. The first song on that list is Ngut. He presses play and then he presses stop after 5 seconds. He's like, my God, this is it. That was it. Like, we just left the song with him there and asked him to write it. And then beyond that, he was traveling and whatever. And then one day he was in London, so I couldn't even get a hold of him on the phone. So I DM him. I say, yo, we're going into mixing and mastering. You need to send us this song, like whatever. Like, yo, guys, I'm gonna try and find a studio here in London so I can record this verse. I think it was great that he was there because he was away from home and got to reflect on being home and got to miss being home. And
so you go to the Summers?
We go to the Summers the following year. We won 6 Summers, and that was a record. Most awards by a male solo artist, tied the record for most awards by a solo artist as well. He then becomes one of the most awarded hip-hop artists in South African music history.
And you guys become some of the most paid guys in the industry, period, because now I see your artists on big
billboards
I
everywhere.
See commercials. You guys are shooting arguably some of the most expensive music videos in the country.
We spent R1 million on the Spirit music video. And then we toured the whole December, and we went into January with no money in the bank. And that was because I was putting my head on the line and saying, I'm willing to bet if we spend this money on this video and the advertising agencies see this is going to be their template for every single ad that they do. Whether or not they use our music, this is going to be the template. Even if we're going bankrupt right now, some corporate is going to give us a ton of money because of this investment. And then it did. We got, a Telcom deal. Because of that, we got a sneaker deal. We knew that that's gonna make him established household name. Back in the days when I was doing club promotions in high school, there was another guy who was also promoting at a club up the road called Catwalk, Lunge. He's always been someone who's trying to plug us with what's happening in the States. And then with the song Spirit, it just worked out. Wale recorded it. There was just a hook on the song.
Really? So you guys just
sent him the hook and the beat. And then he recorded his verse, and his verse was so hot. I think it's still one of the best transatlantic collaborations. We're able to bring him from not only K1, which is Questa's hometown. We have a show in Deep Kloof, which is my first home when I was born, in the 1990s. So it was real full circle.
Fast forward to you now being the director of The Orchard in South Africa. How does that gig land in your lap?
So basically they headhunted me. Sent up to New York to do an interview, but it was actually an induction. They'd already identified me.
The bosses told you this
you know
is
what I
where
mean?
you're going.
This is what you're doing. And then that I could just realize when I got there, it puts me at the helm of the South African arm of number one, the biggest music distributor in the world. They distribute 30% of the world's distributed music right now. And also expanded my network. So now I'm one office of 43 around the world. I was able to leverage my success in the music industry as an executive in South Africa to the rest of the world and have it recognized in the biggest music market in the world, which is the United States of America, and be a recognized figure.
So on this journey, as you continue to push, and I know you're the kind of guy that's pushing beyond anything that's ever been done. What are the 3 takeaways you give to young entrepreneurs, producers, songwriters, someone out there just really trying to push and and put in their 10,000 hours and go somewhere?
The most important thing is that you need to believe in luck. As much as I believe that, certain things were difficult and everything else, I still pursued them with a certain determination to get lucky. Trust yourself to be the one that is able to succeed, to be the one that is able to overcome. Prepare yourself for opportunity. So preparation is everything. As much as I feel I got lucky in my life, every single time I've had an opportunity to get lucky, I was prepared for it. And I just keep on loving every moment of it and learning from each and every challenge.
My man, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
You set the bloody bar so damn high now.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nota. The Fundi Podcast is proudly brought to you by Mecer Fundi. Now, in order to win one of these, all you got to do is follow @shopmecer, press like on one of the posts, and tag a friend. Terms and conditions do apply. Got to be a South African resident. Sorry, rest of the world. Other than that, press like away.